Hello everyone. Today we have a bad trip recap for you. Chris is working at a car wash in a tiny town in Florida when Maria shows up. Chris tells the man whose car he's washing that she's his high school sweetheart. He starts to vacuum the car, but the powerful vacuum rips off his clothes, leaving him naked. Panicking, he hides in the car. The man has a conversation with Maria, trying to get her number for Chris, but she declines and leaves. Chris' best friend, Bud, is working at a computer shop where his sister Trina pulls up in her car. Chris surprises the plumber who comes to his house a year later by emerging from a bathtub full of beer cans. Chris rushes to his new job at a smoothie shop because he's running late, causing chaos as he goes. During a tense middle section, Trina makes an appearance at a restaurant and distributes flyers promoting her desire to murder Chris and Bud. She goes. Minutes later, Bud and Chris arrive at the same location. Everyone reacts, but some people are silent. Bud and Chris actually needed a vehicle to travel to New York City. They borrowed Trina, Bud's sister, who Bud fears but is glad to see improved for violating her house detention. Haddish eventually manages to escape from a prison transport, though, and begins to seek her car. She pursues Bud and Chris up the eastern seaboard if it isn't where she stored it. When Maria enters the store, they have a conversation during which she reveals that she owns an art gallery in New York City. She gives him her business card for the gallery, but while looking at it, he loses concentration and accidentally sticks his hand in a smoothie blender, spitting blood all over the place. He later seeks advice from an elderly man who advises him. To everyone's surprise, Chris begins singing a song titled "I Saw a Girl Today." While on the bus with Bud, they come up with the ideal itinerary for a road trip to New York. Chris and Bud also wreck a gas station pump, go out to drink at a bar where Chris throws up uncontrollably after too many shots, and goes to a zoo where they see a lion that they think is a chimpanzee. Bud pays to remove the lion from the zoo. Chris expresses his love for Maria, but she rejects him before Trina drives through the art gallery wall and begins hitting Chris with various works of art after discovering Maria's business card coated in Chris' blood. Along the way, everyone gets into a variety of scrapes. Trina rips out a cop car's door to steal it. Chris has a horrific brush with a gorilla at a zoo, and everyone else watches in bewildered shock. They can be more than just stunned at times. A crowd member, who is not on duty as a nurse, rushed to Chris's help after he's attacked and knocks him to the ground at a pub. He then vomits all over her, but she still persists in helping him, which is admirable. Eyewitnesses step in and attempt to defuse the situation as Chris and Bud argue after a seemingly horrific vehicle accident. When a devastated Chris approaches an army recruiter and claims he wants to join because he wants to die, the recruiter honestly tries to persuade Chris out of it. A group of individuals on the street level attempt to bargain with Trina as she threatens to toss Chris over the edge of a building and hang him from the roof, but Bud saves him by standing up to her. She embraces him, happy that he finally stood up for himself. Chris and Bud go back to Maria's gallery, but she's upset with the commotion and orders them to leave. The movie ends with them choosing a cross-dress as a white woman at an environmentalist fundraising gala, which they had discussed while watching White Chicks earlier in the movie. Trina joined them as a white man, and they performed the DMX song "Party Up" on stage to everyone else's discomfort. Behind the scenes, footage plays during the closing credits and shows the reactions of the people who appear throughout the movie when they learn that they are part of the story. Let me know in the comments which recap you would like to see next.